If you'd remember, the La Genoa Hospital was demolished sometime in 2019 because there had been reports of certain structural defects by the hospital administration. In 2020, in August, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, cut sword for the reconstruction, which was to begin almost immediately. 3 years later, the project has not begun. There have been many calls and cries from the people of Labadi because this hospital, when it was still alive, was the general hospital which served the communities here in La, Osu, Teshi, Nungwa, and even people from Bukom and Jamestown came all the way here to this health facility. But now, 3 years later, it hasn't been reconstructed. There have been cries from the people to have the government consider bringing this building back up. Earlier this year, in January, the MCE mentioned that the reason the hospital was demolished was because it did not meet the structural test, because it had many structural defects. When he was asked when the project was to begin, he said it will begin by the end of the first quarter of this year. The first quarter has come and has passed. The construction has not begun. It's supposed to be an estimated 68 million euros, the total cost of the reconstruction. And the reason that has been given for the delay of the project is that the partner donor has pulled back. And this pullback was because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, we're here to speak to some of the people here in Labadi, some of the opinion leaders here in La, to find out exactly how the wait for this reconstruction has affected them and whether they have made personal calls to the government to have the reconstruction process begun as soon as possible. So I'm here now with the president of the Coalition of La Associations, Mr. Niode Uglova. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you also for finding time and coming to this place because of some of our needs, which is very pending to the people of La.
This hospital was supposed to have, the reconstruction was supposed to have started a long time ago. The last timeline we were given was the end of the first quarter of 2023. It hasn't started. How has this affected the people of La?
Seriously, we've had a number of deaths that we can't count. Especially one that I can mention is our PRO's brother died because he has to be rushed to a longer place, which if the clinic had been here, at least it could have saved his life. We met the minister early this year, and the minister made us to understand that we should give him up to the first quarter of this year. This place, we will see work going on. We were all very happy. We've been very patient with the government. The place have served us for the years. Someone like me, my uncle made this place a clinic, Dr. Robert Adotawia. It was then a clinic, and he converted it into a general hospital during Colonel Echampon's regime.
Yes, I remember we called it La Polyclinic for a long time before it became La General Hospital.
An uncle of mine was the one who changed this place from a clinic to a hospital. So it's something that is on my heart. It's a property of mine, and it's on my land. My mother comes from La. My father comes from La. I have no other place to go. So when we talk of property of La, which has been destroyed, it goes deep into me. So it's not something that I'm going to rest on it until I will see that the place has been brought back. I'm an MPP person, so I won't talk politics. I'll talk reality, things that we all have to face. Before the place was being demolished, the people of the coalition said we were not going to allow this place to be demolished. The MCE called me. I met with some directors of health, regional directors of health, with some of her members. And they made me to understand that 68 million euros was ready. I'll repeat again, 68 million euros was ready. So if we don't allow the place to be demolished, that money will be diverted to another place because the money cannot be kept in a bank. It has to be used. So if we say we won't allow this place to be demolished, then they will divert the money somewhere. In fact, I advised them and I asked them, I showed them what to do, which luckily they gave us the clinic that is now functioning at Lateno. So we had to keep quiet because we've been given something small, something that can give us clinical treatments. So we agreed, then let's demolish it. But in reality, let's look at the history of this place. President Bush, the second President Bush, not the first one, gave money to build some of the buildings here. So you just can't tell me those buildings has constructional effect because those buildings are less than 20 years. So you can't tell me those buildings has. The main story building was the only building that had constructional effect. So why don't you demolish that story building and leave the rest so that at least instead of a general hospital, we can run this place as a clinic. But for 4 years, this is what we see. And they've been telling us stories after stories after stories. Now we've been given November. I believe, and I'm telling you very well, that by November, nothing will be done here. Because this is not the first time, this is not the second time, and this is not the third time that we've met people who we have to meet for this place to be rebuilt. We've told them, if they know they can't do it, they should come and tell us. And we will organize ourselves and make sure that our property is brought back to us.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir, for talking to us. I can see you're very emotional about this, and I understand. Because a project like this being taken away from this community with promises that it will be reconstructed soon, 4 years later, there is no work. No work has begun. I feel personally about it too because it's a hospital that I used to come to as a child. So I grew up in Teshin-Triblo. And so we hope that these conversations will be able to bring the right attention to this project. And
I'll be very glad. I'll be very glad. And I'm pleading with the president. I'm pleading also with the minister that if they really want to have a vote, not votes, a vote in law, they should do something about this clinic. Or they will set the party backwards. They will set MPP, which I'm a member, backwards. This clinic needs to be reconstructed as soon as possible, even before the next election. Or I, Oscar, will not even get up to go and cast a vote because it pays, it will give me nothing.
Thank you very much for talking to us, sir. We also have one of the opinion leaders here at LA to talk to us, Mr. Prince J. Hello, sir.
Afi.
Afi, I know right now. Ofane, OBFN.
Ojogba. I feel like Inyeminu, Oscar, we are cousins actually. Yeah, we are cousins. We come from the same place. My mom is from La. My dad is from La. I lost my dad actually. He's the La Jasiche, the head of the royal household, and his dad is the La Kwe Akuchuche, that's the royal house. So we are not just people talking off the streets. These are indigenous of the land speaking about something. I'm NDC, he's MPP. This is not politics. People are dying. You can see a poster out there. I mean, a young man, 52, dead. Several people dead. The people over here, they've been interviewed several times. They're not even interested in any further interviews. Most people say they will not count on the word of the president, which is sad. I don't believe the president, yes, but not to take away anything from a president. Yeah. When a president speaks, it must mean something. If a minister speaks, it must count for something. But it is sad that today we cannot trust our leaders. When they say look up, you must quickly look down or you fall down. That's where we've reached with this project and several others. And I think that it's about time that Ghanaians took action. People in communities, and I'm looking at you directly, and I'm addressing the community, not just in La, but across the country. the impunity of persons and authority must stop. And it takes people like you and I to stop that. Today we are resolved, him and I, as NDC and NPP, to stop this nonsense today, not tomorrow. It is not about NDC and NPP, it's about Ghanaian lives. See where the economy is today. We are in a terrible place. Somebody is able to squander 60.8 billion cedis, and we are talking about what? How much is needed for this one?
68 million euros.
But if you take it out of that, several of this could have been built, and you write it off and we think it's nothing? No, come on, give us a break. We have money here, and I believe the Vice President when he says the money is right here in Ghana. But he must find it. He must stop campaigning and get to action. You see, campaigning is good. I'm a politician, so I can understand and relate to why people must campaign. But when you are given the authority, you must start acting. Don't campaign. You should stop going around and start getting to work. This place must be built. That's the best campaign message you can get to anybody in La or Ghana for that matter. Because this discredits not just the president, but him. So if he really is interested, Mr. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, please, if you want to campaign, build this one. And I want to entreat all the other, is it 5 now? 5 aspirants in the MPP. Go have a meeting with the president. Let him know that the only legacy you can campaign on is this one, and possibly the trade fair, and possibly other projects in various communities. Because these are things that people feel directly. These are the things that impact people. And like my brother said, he will not vote. Several MPP people will not vote. Well, I will vote though, and I'll vote against them. And I'll encourage others to vote against them if they don't do this. However, now to my NDC also. I think that it is important that we do not just make empty promises. Elections are good, but it's not about winning power. It's about acting with the power that you get. So if NDC is given the opportunity, they should not come and also continue the rhetoric and say, oh, we will do it, and then another election cycle. It must be done. When you say roads, fix it. If you say hospitals, fix it. Don't give us big words, agenda this, agenda that. We don't need it. Ghanaians are dying. You know, and Nashoko. Inyami me lame. Afieshe. Ayu ake afia ya nebani nao. Ke wo kwe afi he ni wababote mi bia wo fe wo ngwala wo woje wo afi he shishin. Wo ke tomo fe na atonye wo no wo keke wo ngwa woke na kanji ngwala eshishin. E wo menegbe ne wo kola ke wo ke President Akufo-Addo tomo fe ekele wo ke amla lo e sha fe ekiame wo je hie he bia na me ke amenjeshi na me fe hospital ne. One have be kuku. She wants money be kuku name. You want to president agent check because as for Minister Benjamin Mr. J in the schedule. And you back a in November. Jalen MC a bit powerful. I mean a budget tenche bar and then this is something come from the bar. You know, Anyaka Fene. It was kept president ten Yeshika a vice president. Once one I mean na Remo Ochinemi no. Homo I've been a Friday ne. Danny Homo Friday ba share president ke vice say amenya ma ba ke la me noko akenshi no ni amafia me ha la me ne no na afia me tashibi ne no na afia osubi ne no na afia la general stage la ma pe ano ni Ghana bi fa no twa ni o mani afia wo.
Yeah, Oyiwadon. I've been speaking to Mr. Prince Ajay and Mr. Neode Glover. They are opinion leaders here in La, and obviously they are very displeased about the delay in the reconstruction of the La General Hospital. One thing that has been said over and over again is that because this hospital is not functioning well, it's not existent, a lot of the medical cases in La, Osu, and Teshi all go to the Lekma Hospital. So now we're going to go over to the Lekma Hospital at Teshi Triblo to find out from the hospital administration how things are now that all of the clinical and hospital cases from all these communities are referred to Lekma. Stay tuned.